Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa Nodyke on Salem City Council, and with me today is Jayne Downing, Executive Director for the Center for Hope and Safety, and we're talking about how domestic violence is being impacted and affected by the coronavirus pandemic. Jayne, thank you so much for meeting me today.
Thank you.
It's nice to see you from afar over there.
We're doing our social distancing, good example here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Jayne, tell us a little bit, for folks who don't know, what is the Center for Hope and Safety?
So the Center for Hope and Safety is a service where we provide help to victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and human trafficking in Marion and Polk counties. And we've been around now for 47 years.
Wow.
Providing services, and last year we had over 30,000 contacts to our program.
Wow, 30,000 contacts in a single year.
Yes.
Oh, that is amazing. So can you tell us, now that our community is being impacted by this coronavirus pandemic, have you noticed any changes in the nature of calls or contacts to your services?
So what happens, and we've seen this in other situations. It happened at 9/11. It happened when H1N1 was going on, where at first we get a lot of really panicked calls. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And of course, we're working with people on those kinds of things every day. So that safety planning, sheltering, all of those different things we're doing. So that's not unusual for us. What does happen very often, and has been our experience this time again, is things do get a little quieter. Normally we're in DHS offices. We can't be there right now. Normally we're in the courtroom every day. We can't be there right now. And so, in that regard, things are quieter. Our hotline is a little less busy. Our walk-ins are not as much. But what is a reality is that very often when the world feels really unsafe, victims will stay home during that time. And what we know is once the world seems a little more normal, that's when we're going to get inundated. We're going to hear, I need to get out, I need to get away. And so we're going to be even more busy after the fact.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And are there any heightened risks for victims or survivors of domestic violence during this lockdown that wouldn't be present if they were able to leave their house and come and go as they please?
Absolutely. Chances are they're having to stay within their homes with an abusive partner. And so, and they may not be able to call us. It may not be safe to reach out and do that safety planning. They can't get away from that person. And so we always worry for them when it's a situation like this, that they're not getting the services that they need. And so, one of the things we love about being able to talk to folks like you is to get the message out. Mm-hmm. If there's any, if you need help, we're here 24 hours a day. We haven't stopped answering the lines. We haven't stopped, being able to help people. So please call us if they can.
Okay. And if you know someone who you think might be locked down with their abuser right now, what should you do as a friend to that person?
I think if you have the opportunity to say, here's a program that is, would like to help you, if the friend can call and get information from us about what's the safest way to be able to help them, they can certainly call us. We love those calls because that shows that there's community members that care. I would say the one thing to be careful about is not to do anything that might put that person at greater risk. Mm-hmm. And so listening to them, if they tell you, please do this or don't do this, really listening to them and taking that to heart. But feel free to call us and get help and support.
All right. And is there anything for members of the community out there? How can we support the Center for Hope and Safety right now?
Well, we're like any nonprofit. We're of course worried about, how are we going to keep the phones ringing and our doors open. So, I know there's lots of programs to help, but if your heart is for the vulnerable families that we serve in our shelter or on the hotline, we could certainly use help with that. Financial help, non-perishable goods. If there's any, kinds of wipes out there, things like that. I mean, when this all happened, we had 13 children in shelter, all in the same house, plus all the adults. So, you know, social distancing can be a challenge, but certainly we're making sure everything is clean and disinfected, and so we can always use help with that. But you know, that's kind of one of those things that's in really short supply right now.
Fair enough. Jayne, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for all you do in leadership for Center for Hope and Safety.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Vanessa Nodyke with Salem City Council. Thank you so much. Stay healthy and stay tuned out there.